Hello everybody, I am Fuzzy Face and welcome back to this Motorsport Manager career, the resurrection of Williams. We're back today. We're on the second season, which is effectively the 2019 season. Ignore the dates down here. We're back with round 6 of this season, which is Vancouver, the Canadian Grand Prix. If you've watched this series before, if you watched last season, or heard me explain this one of the million times that I've probably explained this, Vancouver, the Canadian Grand Prix, round 6 is the first point in the season where we can introduce power upgrades to the car. We've got new gearboxes and new brakes going into the car. If we just head on over here, we've got a couple of new brakes. There isn't a massive leap forward in terms of performance. All that is going to come when we get to work on these parts in the garage in future. Gearbox has improved quite a bit, probably about 40 odd points, but we can get that lead gearbox up to a 1070, which is a 100 point leap over what we started the season on. So if we can get that going and improved, that is going to be perfect for us, although we've got new gearboxes being worked on at the moment, so going to get another few gearbox builds done, then maybe another few brakes builds done. So hopefully by the time we get to Milan, which is the first race after this race where we can introduce new parts to the car, hopefully we're going to be somewhere sort of near average here, and that we can move up the overall performance of the car above this 6th place that we're currently in. We're currently better than the Haas, the Force India, the Toro Rosso and the Sauber. As it is with the standings, Toro Rosso have scored 0 points this season. They're in real trouble, possibly will find themselves being relegated this season. Dams last season won Formula 2 but declined the opportunity to race in Formula 1. Renault still having a bad season like they did last season. They have one of the better cars, 5th overall. I think they were 4th overall last season, but their driver lineup's not as strong this season after losing Carlos Sainz and replacing him with Rosenquist, but nothing we could do about that. We are actually cash rich at the moment. We've got £64 million in the bank, mainly after getting the sponsors through, but there's a long time to go before we get sponsors on the car. We've got the PNC, which is an American bank sponsorship on the side of the car. Once we had this new sponsoring, I was thinking about changing the livery up to match a lead sponsor, which the slot 2, which goes right on the side of the car, is the lead sponsor. But to sort of match that, we would sort of want to go with the Chip Ganassi livery on Scott Dixon's car, which is like the orange and the blue. It's pretty much nearly exactly the same colours that I used on the McLaren this season, so it's not something I really want to follow, otherwise we'll look too much like the McLaren car. So we're going to be sticking with this classic Williams livery this season, and maybe this one runs out 3 races into next season. Once we find out what this is going to be next season, then maybe if it's someone decent we can change the livery to sort of fit the lead sponsor. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we'll just go with the new Williams blue and maybe a little bit of white on the car next season. Who knows, but that's for next season anyway. As it is, yeah, and we also had the weird Infinity, the luxury arm of the Nissan brand on the car, so yeah, Infinity on a Mercedes powered car. But as it is, Esteban Ocon's still got his dodgy neck. He's only 1 week away. We'll be fully recovered by the time we get to the British Grand Prix, which we're hoping to be pretty quick in. We should be decent around here, but obviously Guildford is where we should be really strong, because we've got a decent aero package and we've got one of the better engines. So we're not going to leave Esteban at home. We're going to pick PNC. No real chance of getting up into 3rd anymore, as we started off the season being pretty good. Both guys happy with the car here, so we're going to jump in to practice, which will be run off screen as usual, and we'll be back in a second when we hit qualifying. So here we go with the first qualifying lap. Sorokin's about to get ready to go on his first flying lap. I'm not sure how quick we're going to be in qualifying, how good these power upgrades, whether they're going to see us move ahead a little bit further forward. We seem pretty quick in practice, at least Ocon did. If we can get Ocon somewhere near the top 10, then that would be brilliant. Even inside the top 10 would be even better, but I'm just not sure how quick we're going to be around this Vancouver track. Sorokin's seemingly going pretty quick at the moment. He's sort of not that far behind Lewis Hamilton, although this is a short track, so shouldn't be that far behind. Puts him 50. He's actually quicker than a lot of cars, which is unusual with Sorokin off his first run. Quite a lot quicker. And Ocon, look at that, 1.1. Sorokin just putting in an amazing lap on that first lap. As we've seen before in some qualifying sessions, for some reason Ocon's a little bit off form in qualifying. I'm not sure why. Yeah, just Sorokin sometimes a little bit quicker. Sorokin currently sat inside the top 10. Ocon all the way down in 14th. We'll see if they can swap up that order a little bit later in qualifying. Second qualifying lap about to get underway. Sorokin still in 9th place. As we've seen earlier in the season, the cars, or even last season as well, the cars lower down, the cars rated from like 6th to 10th, usually come out a lot earlier than the rest of the cars. They do one lap and then do another lap straight after. Sorokin has still managed to hold on to this 9th place. It looks like he's on for a top 10 finish here. He's a lot slower off this second lap. Somewhere doing the performance he should have done off that first lap. Ocon, meanwhile, is quicker than his first lap. I don't know whether he's actually quicker than go quicker than Sorokin. As we've seen, Sorokin starting to move down the order as a couple of the cars a little bit higher up the order started speeding up. Sorokin doesn't go any quicker, 3/10 slower. Ocon goes a little bit quicker than his last lap, moves up to 14th, so it looks like that's where we're going to sit here unless Van Dorn can go quicker than Sorokin. He can, which knocks us outside the top 10, which might not be the worst thing, as it means we have a free choice of tyre compound now to go ahead and choose for the race, so we might be able to get onto a pair of softs from the start. So here's the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix. As usual, Hamilton and Vettel on the front row of the grid, followed by Danny Rick in the Red Bull, Kevin Magnussen in the Mercedes 4. Felix Rosenqvist had a really good qualifying session for Renault, but as we know, their strategy usually goes awry during the race. But Rosenqvist starting 5th, ahead of Kimi Räikkönen in the McLaren in 6th place. Valtteri Bottas in 7th in the Ferrari, followed by Max Verstappen in the Red Bull in 8th. Nico Hülkenberg 9th, followed by Van Dorn in McLaren 10th. Then we get Sergei Sorokin, and really good qualifying performance from him. 11th place, Sergio Perez 12th, Pierre Gasly 13th in the Toro Rosso. Ocon a little bit slower, not that much difference between the teammates after the second lap in qualifying, but Ocon finds himself down in 14th. He will be starting on a softer tyre compound than Sergei Sorokin. Ocon, he does have that racer start, he's on top form, so what we want to do is sort of blow through the first softer compound tyre. It is going to be a two-stop race no matter what, so hopefully he can move himself up the order early on here, being on a quicker compound than the rest of the cars around him. Carlos Sainz in the Haas, followed by his teammate Romain Grosjean, there 15th and 16th. Nikita Mazepin off the back row of the grid for once, followed by Charles Leclerc 18th in the Sauber. Marcus Ericsson not in 20th for once, swapping places with Billy Johnson in the Toro Rosso, but Marcus Ericsson there in the Sauber, 19th place. So let's get this race underway in Canada. The lights are about to go out. Hopefully Ocon can get a good start here. There's no point pushing all out from the start because it doesn't usually affect the start too much, but after the first couple of corners we can usually turn him up. But Ocon got away off the line really poorly there. It looks like Sorokin's not had the best of starts as well. He's dropped down to 12th place, although he's under pressure from a few cars as well. That's both the Haas cars of Sainz and Grosjean getting alongside him. But this is the point now. We're going to get Ocon turned up all the way here. It doesn't look like there's going to be any rain during this race, but hopefully Ocon can pick up these places now. He gets past his teammates, so rocking an awful start for him. But if we know Ocon on this race to start, how far can he get himself up the field with pushing all out? He's managed to get past both Haas, he's managed to get himself into 12th. He's on the inside line, out to the outside now. That is Sergio Perez, his former teammate, manages to get past him. 11th place for him. What is the temperature like? It's 21. So these tyres aren't going to heat up too much, so we can just keep running as we are for a little bit now. Ocon looks like he's going to make this move stick on Kimi Räikkönen as well. Manages to get himself up to 10th place here. Can't even believe that he's managed to do so well off the start of the race. So Rockin though, really struggling here. He has to go quite a long way on this soft tyre. We can do 32 laps off these two softs, and then if we come in for a super soft, we're looking at 43 laps. So should we get Sorokin pushing for a little bit from the start as well, see what we can get him up to. Ocon is now in 9th place. He's got the two Renaults sighted in front of him. Can he make a move on Hülkenberg? Rosenqvist hasn't had the best of starts. It looks like Ocon carrying a lot more speed here than these two Renaults. Whether he can make a move, stick these tyres getting a little bit too hot, but we'll keep them turned up for a second, hoping that we can get past these two Renaults before we start to dial back on what we're doing with Ocon. So Rockin not really making too many moves here, so I think we're going to sort of abandon his push here. It looks like he might be able to make this move on Pierre Gasly though. If he carries the speed out of this corner, can't make it stick. It looks like Ocon has got past Rosenqvist, and Hulkenberg now switches it up on that hairpin corner up into 7th place. Now I don't think we've got much chance of catching the Mercedes and car down the road here. We're going to have to use quite a lot of fuel, so we're going to get Sorokin turned down. He's moved himself up to 15th. He managed to get ahead of Pierre Gasly. We don't want these tyres running out too quickly, so we're just going to hold back there. We're going to run in medium mode. We might as well go back up, just cool these tyres down a little bit, and then we can do a couple of laps just in neutral mode, staying 7th place with Ocon. We've put him in a real good position here now, and we're going to be on a quicker tyre once these ultras start wearing down on these AI cars. We're going to start letting cars pass through us now, but that's a risk we run now. We know these Renaults are a lot quicker than us once we start cooling down. There's nothing we can really do about that. We sort of overachieved with what I thought we could do with the cars. We start seeing these McLarens coming back with us now. So what are we seeing? We're starting to see massive drop-offs here. 34 laps left. I sort of want to get round another lap, and then we'll get in early for this soft tyre. We'll get off this ultra soft, which seems like it's losing a lot of performance now. We're starting to fall back, so we'll get onto a soft tyre that we can push for a little bit. We sort of need to be careful with the fuel as well. I think we can have Sorokin push a little bit though in high mode. So hopefully we're not going to have any mistakes here. I remember to actually change the pit crew for once. But Ocon running in 9th place now has a real chance of finishing inside the points, when it looked after his qualifying session that he might not have the chance. But we're still worried about his fitness towards the end of the race. He still has that dodgy neck. But we're going to get into the pits pretty early here. We're going to get off this ultra soft tyre, although it's run out anyway. So hopefully we can get a nice quick pit stop. We do have the best pit crew in the game, and that is 1.7 seconds. A nice quick pit stop. We're going to come out in 20th place. So we're going to have a nice little bit of clear air to run in here, so we can possibly go high mode with this tyre for a little bit, and maybe push mode as well. So just so until the other cars come into the pits, we'll have the tyres nicely warmed up at that point. So Sorokin's still currently running 14th place here. It's under pressure from Pierre Gasly. The Toro Rosso we know isn't quicker than us, but we know Pierre Gasly is a lot better driver. He's possibly pushing his car as well. He's pushing the same, just that Toro Rosso. Sorokin not doing too well off that first lap. We're starting to see some cars. We've seen a Renault hit the pits and the McLaren, so we're going to get out well in front of that Renault. So that's worked out pretty well for us as that undercut. We're now a lot further in front of those, and we've still got some clear air to run in here before we start hitting the back of the cars that will start slowing us down. So once these cars come in, they're going to be stuck in the same position as us. So this pit stop has worked out wonderfully for us here. So Sorokin meanwhile has managed to get back past Pierre Gasly. Looks like he's still under pressure though, and we can keep pushing here for a little bit longer as well. This tyre getting a little bit too heated though. Gonna have to cool that down a little bit. We know Sorokin. Oh, and we've almost on the back of the Ferrari, and we managed to get past the Ferrari as well of Valtteri Bottas. This undercut really working well for us, although we're on the back of, who was that, Charles Leclerc, although we get past him pretty easily. We've got a nice 1 second gap here now towards these other cars. So where are we now? Ocon. It's only Ricciardo Vettel in front of us. Hamilton's pitted a long way further up the road, so his pit stops worked out really well. I don't think we're going to be held off Valtteri Bottas for long here. He's going to make this move pretty early, so we probably want to sort of start holding back on what we're doing at the moment, because these tyres are going to start overheating. We can still run in high mode because we've still got a long time to sort of recover this fuel, and we can get back into neutral with Sergei Sorokin as we are on lap 10 now. And there we see Vettel manages to get past Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen in much quicker cars. Managed to get back past Ocon. We knew we weren't going to be able to hold that on, but Ocon makes a brilliant move. He's up the inside of Verstappen, up the inside of Valtteri Bottas as well. Makes a move on both of those cars in front. An absolutely amazing move from Esteban Ocon. We've still got this Force India of Nikita Mazepin running in front of us. He's been running a hell of a long time on those soft tyres, just showing us what sort of life we can expect to get out of these soft tyres. So Sorokin's currently done 11 laps. It says he can get another 4. Want him coming in around. If we can get him in early though onto this super soft, we might be able to try the undercut on these cars in front of us and around us that are on the soft tyre as well. But there's always the possibility that if we pit with Sorokin, we're going to be coming out in traffic. So if he gets in for the super soft, he would be 20th. There's 27 laps remaining, 11. It's a little bit too early yet. So if we get Sorokin pushing from this point, and then we can get him ready for his pit stop, maybe we can try the undercut with him on a few other cars. We've currently got the Renault of Rosenqvist behind us, and we've actually Verstappen still behind us. Hulkenberg is pitted as well. Hulkenberg gets out in front. The undercut didn't work there, but we might be carrying a little bit more speed than him, and we are. Hulkenberg out of the pits. We've got the inside line on this hairpin corner, but we can't make it stick going 3 wide down the straight. Can we make this move stick now on Nikita Mazepin? We finally get past Mazepin, and I think we're going to have to go back in. We don't really have to, and we just want to keep pushing with these cars around us. And we know you're going through these tyres, Sergey. You've got one more lap to do on them, and then we can get you off them. So you can now line up for this pair of super soft tyres. Balanced pit stop, so hopefully he's going to have a nice quick pit stop here as well. So Rockin currently 7th place. He's going to be coming out somewhere around about 18th, 19th place, because we've seen a couple of cars pit already. So Rockin, hopefully we can get a nice quick pit stop from him, but we want to be careful on the super softs that we're going to be running as well. So we'll get these to neutral just as he comes into the pits. No mistakes please from the pit crew, and there we go, 1.8 seconds, a little bit slower than Esteban Ocon's pit stop. But Ocon seemingly in a good position for points here. He's allowed both Renaults back in front of him. But we're on slightly more worn tyres, but we're going on to another pair of softs to finish this race. So hopefully we can pick some up at the end. And so Rockin now has a little bit of room to push here. He's out in 18th place with a nice little gap in front of him. So hopefully he's still got a chance of being on for points after that really bad start, but I don't think he's got much of a chance of points. Ocon though, after starting 14th on the grid, has got a real good chance of points here. Running in 12th place, he's got, who's that in front of him? That's Nico Hulkenberg. We're still chasing him down. The fitness is going to play a point at some point for Esteban Ocon. I don't think like these Force Indycars that started on the soft, they're going to try the one stop. They're the ones most notorious for going for the one stop as the race goes on. So we're currently on lap 20. Ocon has conceded a place to Stoffel Van Dorn. Perez has made his first pit stop. He's on ultra softs, but he will be doing another stop after this. But that's seemingly working out for him, going for that pair of ultra softs for the middle stint. Ocon now 8th place. It looks like Verstappen's about to get past him. So Rockin, not too much further down the road on this pair of super softs, has managed to sort of get on the back of Esteban Ocon here. So maybe that was the way to go, getting on like a quicker tyre for this second stint, as all the field has sort of started to come back together. But we're going to get into attack now with Esteban Ocon, as we can't really run too much on the fuel. We're going to save a little bit to push near the end of the Grand Prix. So we're going to go into full attack mode with Ocon, and we're going to get him lined up. Is it the one after this one? We want him to go another 2 laps, which he can do on this soft tyre here. So hopefully we can get that done. So Rockin's still just waiting for his pit stop. He's currently behind Kimi Räikkönen, just outside the points. I don't know whether we're going to be able to push to get him inside the top 10, but Esteban Ocon looks like he's set for maybe an 8th place. Maybe he can get a little bit closer than that, but his pace is a little bit off here, so we might go high mode for this last lap here, and he's going to be going on to another pair of soft tyres to finish the race on. Hopefully he's going to get a nice decent pit stop. Looks like Perez has started turning down his car here, so he's sort of hanging on to the back of him. So maybe we can catch him once he decides to do his second pit stop. That's what we need to do. So Rockin currently in 10th place. We're going to do one more lap around this, and then we're going to get him pushing, and then he's going to be coming into the pits to get onto the soft tyre after that, because then we should be able to get those to the end of the race. These tyres are almost overheated, but we want one more lap out of Rockin before he comes into the pits. So he goes past Ocon, dives into the pits, and onto this soft tyre to finish the race for Esteban Ocon. So let's just see what Ocon is going to do here. It was a 1.7 last time, or 1.787, pretty much the same as his last pit stop. We're going to get out in front of a Force India and a Toro Rosso, and we're out in front of the McLaren of Kimi Räikkönen. So Rockin currently running 8th place. I think we've got a little bit more room to even push more with these tyres. So Rockin about to come around for his final pit stop of the race. We're just watching into the pits so we can get him turned down to neutral as he enters the pits, just so we don't waste too much of that tyre as he comes out. And back into neutral now for Esteban Ocon. So it's just all about where we can get these cars now as the other cars start filtering in and out of the pits. We're currently behind Bottas. Rosenqvist has made his second pit stop, although he's on some old soft tyres there. His tyres are a little bit more worn than ours are. So he might not be able to get to the end of the race without doing another stop. So we're just waiting for some of these other cars to filter into the pits to see what sort of position we're going to be in. We've still got a Toro Rosso in front of us. That looks like Max Verstappen getting out in front of us. Not really sort of what we wanted, and we're just going to have to start looking after this fuel pretty soon. It will take us about 9 laps to recover this at the moment. Hopefully that is something we can do. So Rotkin currently down in 18th place. There's still a lot of cars to pit. So it might be pretty tight to getting in the points here. And we're sort of stuck behind this Toro Rosso at the moment, which is not doing us any favours. Stuck behind Billy Johnson at the moment. Let's just push to get past him if we can. And there we go. Now we can turn back down. 10 laps we're going to have to go and recover this fuel. So Rotkin's still got a little bit of room to push. Maybe we can go in push mode with him for a little bit. These soft tyres look like they will be able to get towards the end of the race. Is that Billy Johnson that's managed to get back past in front of us? What is Ocon playing at here? We've been slowed down totally. We need to make this move 6. We don't have much room to keep doing this. Round about the same point in the lap, right, and back down again. Don't let Johnson back pass through Ocon. Don't need him ruining our race. But Sirotkin making a move on Kimi Raikkonen here, going 3 wide down that straight once again like earlier in the race, but can't make that move stick. You do manage to stay ahead of Gasly, although Gasly coming back, he's about to come into the pits for his final pit stop. 16th Ocon, 13th. We've got some cars in the pits. That's the Force India, it looks like, of Sergio Perez. He manages to get back out onto a pair of super softs as well. So it looks like Ocon might be outside the points here. There's only Grosjean and Sainz to pit here. We've lost a lot of time, it seems, being stuck behind Billy Johnson for that last stint. And there's not a lot of room that we can do a lot with the car here. Yeah, there's not a lot we can do with the tyres, not a lot we can do with the fuel. We're going to have to get Sirotkin recovering as well. So we're back on lap 31. We're in 11th place. The only saving grace for this is we're possibly going to see Rosenqvist pit again. Maybe Carlos Sainz, maybe Roman Grosjean needs to do this one pit. So there is still a chance of points here, and an outside chance, a chance of points for Sirotkin. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is if we push these tyres. Maybe we don't really have much room to push here. We're just going to have to see what we can do here, and then obviously they're going to be on much quicker tyres after that as well. We move up into 8th place. We've got Roman Grosjean on a pair of ultra softs on the car. We're not really going to be able to hold him off. It doesn't look like these tyres are really too heated here. We need to sort of conserve on these tyres, otherwise they're going to wear out before the end of the race. Can we hold off Roman Grosjean? It looks like Carlos Sainz is behind Sirotkin, so hopefully Sirotkin can do a good job of holding Carlos Sainz up as he starts moving back through the field, which would keep Ocon just sort of onside maybe for a points finish, which is what we want. Kimi Raikkonen is in front. We've got no chance of Sirotkin catching Kimi Raikkonen. Ocon currently in 9th place as we see Roman Grosjean go through. Kimi Raikkonen's behind us. Can we keep 9th place here? 5 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. I don't think we're going to be able to hold off. We can go back into neutral mode on these tyres whatsoever, like it's down to 20 and back up to 21. But at the moment we're in a position where we can possibly just hold on to this tyre at the end of the race and hold Kimi Raikkonen off. Sergei Sirotkin, Carlos Sainz is coming at him pretty quickly. Sainz doing 108, although he was actually slower off that last lap. And we've got a safety car coming out of the garage. Oh, this is a little difficult on what we should do here. Should we pit with Sirotkin? Ocon, I don't want to pit with him, just in case it knocks him outside the points, but could we get onto a pair of Ultrasofts and finish really strong with Sergei Sirotkin at the end of this race? We're going to be able to recover this fuel, more or less, although there's not going to be much time left at the end of the safety car coming in. There's not going to be a lot of time left in the race, but we can risk it with Sirotkin. We can risk it. At least the tyres are going to be able to fit the end. And Kimi Raikkonen's coming into the pit, so we've seen a lot of cars pit here for these quicker tyres. Oh, is everyone going to risk it? The safety cars got another lap left after this. It's going to be like... So they're behind the safety car. There's going to be like 2 laps left after the safety car comes in. Should we risk something with Ocon here? What is everyone else doing? Is everyone else coming in for tyres? It doesn't look like anyone else is going to try pit. Ooh. There's not a lot of room. No, we're going to keep Ocon out. We're just going to risk it with Sorokin. Seeing Raikkonen come into the pits, it might be the wrong option here. How many places is Sorokin going to lose once he comes out of the pits? Gets back out into 12th place. He's only lost one. We want to keep these tyres sort of in optimum temperature as well. Ocon doesn't have a lot of room on these tyres, but we're going to be able to recover the fuel at least. So let's just follow the safety car here. He's going to on lap. Yeah, we're going to be on lap 37 when we come back to this, but Sorokin could be in a chance, although the cars in front are on softer compound tyres as well, on fresh tyres, but on harder compound tyres than us, so hopefully we can get something going here. We might not even be able to catch a safety car before the end of the Grand Prix. There's cars lined up behind the safety car that are sort of out of position here. Let's head into the garage, so I hope that might even throw up the order at the front here a little bit. So we're going to get attacking on these tyres, even though from here, going to high mode, that's still going to let the fuel keep recovering since we're just following the safety car. We've got a little bit to go in push mode with Ocon as well. It doesn't even look like Sorokin's going to catch up. Yeah, look, Sorokin's not even caught the pack up as this race restarts. So he's a long way behind, 15 seconds behind, so it's not really going to affect him. Ocon, there's a big gap behind him to Carlos Sainz Jr. as we enter the final lap behind the safety car. So it's just a good job we didn't actually try and pit Ocon as well, otherwise he possibly would have been out of position, possibly would have been behind Carlos Sainz. He would have been still in the points because as we saw, Raikkonen came into the pits as well. But we wouldn't have been in a position really to get back at Carlos Sainz. So we can just finish here. 9th place, a decent race from Ocon, another points finish. Sorokin will come across the line in 12th. Sort of where we expected to be. Obviously we're not hitting the heavy heights of where we started the season off on. Obviously all the cars have now got over their reliability problems. We're not seeing the same sort of strategy mistakes that the AI was making earlier on in the season. Excuse me, a couple of things falling down off my shelves. But Esteban Ocon finishes nice. Sergei Sorokin, 12th place. Might be a chance of some cars using some risky parts, but no, there isn't. Esteban Ocon just picks up the 2 points. Sebastian Vettel now moves above him in the driver's standings. Kevin Magnussen will obviously get this 5th place at some point. We would expect Valtteri Bottas to pick up on what he's been doing recently as well. He's currently in 7th place. We're still 4th in the Constructors' Haas. Haven't been doing too well this season, and the other teams below us. We might be in a position now where we're going to keep this 4th place, which would be absolutely outstanding if we could do that. Obviously we've got no chance this season of catching the Ferraris and Red Bulls and the Mercedes. Hopefully we're going to be not too far behind them going into next season. If we can get to that point, then that would be absolutely amazing. We actually finished off target this race, 7th place, even though we finished inside the top 10 with one of the cars. Not the best, but it hasn't affected Frank Williams' happiness. He's still really happy. There's not as much money coming into the car, into the team this time because we didn't run Lance Stroll in practice. Formula 2, meanwhile, Callum Ilott, George Russell in 3rd. George Russell still winning the Drivers' Championship. Nick De Vries is possibly the driver we're going to be making a move for next season. Currently 4th with the Prema team in Formula 2. But as it is Formula 3, currently led by who could be moving up, Trident, the Trident Junior team could be moving up into Formula 2. And let's just finish with the mail. We've got an interview with ESPN. After his win today, we were wondering if you had any thoughts. Yeah, we'll keep doing this one. We keep getting this option to butter up Lewis Hamilton throughout the season. It's like it's trying to tell me something that we should go for Lewis Hamilton, but it's just too expensive. And I think he would still be under contract as well, 2018, so he's got another year to run on this contract with the Mercedes team, so 10 million to break him out of that contract as well. Once that contract's up though, we're possibly going to be seeing Lewis moving to some sort of weird team after this season. But as it is, that's where we're going to leave this episode. We've got the Guildford, the British Grand Prix, our home Grand Prix. It looks like it's going to be raining in practice, so that might throw some things up. Advanced ERS voting, it's not really a vote that really means anything to us because we don't really, or we don't even use the ERS in this game at the moment. But yeah, so another decent race. That is where we're going to leave this episode. So subscribe, like, comment, all the usual stuff. But until next time, I'll see you down the road in Guildford for the British Grand Prix. And goodbye.